Hi, aloha, and welcome to the Empowered Empath. My name is Jennifer O'Neill.
And I'm Michelle Schneider. I'm going to give you a friendly reminder that if you like today's podcast, if the content resonates with you, please give the video a like and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes, thank you for that. Hopefully, they do. Remember, we have gotten a lot of comments. Unfortunately, we've had some technical difficulties, though. For a minute, our RSS feed would not go from Blog Talk, which is where it stems from, to iTunes and Shopify,
Got it.
Spotify. So there was a delay in a couple of the podcasts, if you were wondering. That's what happened there. And we're back on track though. Now we're back on track mostly, right? Back on track
Well,
mostly.
didn't Mercury just go into retrograde? So we'll
Oh,
see.
dear God, did it? I didn't even look before we were working on this podcast, but it would make total sense.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a lot to talk about because it is a Lionsgate portal. And while we're going to talk about the energy of manifestation and all of that sort of thing, I'll let you talk a little bit about that. I am going to give you an August energy report and update on what's currently happening with the energy because I think a lot of people are like, what is happening right now? What how do I navigate this? And what do we do here? And what are you doing? Or like, I just feel like there's a lot of questions going on right now, or a lot of people going, this doesn't feel normal, like within, relationships, friendships, experiences. I don't care what you say, or where it goes to, but yeah, a lot going on, right?
Yes.
Do
Can't
you want
handle.
to, did you pulled a card, right? Or pulled some cards?
I did, yeah, but right before I hopped on, I kind of pulled a couple of cards, and it was called Transcending, and it was really talking about transformation. We're kind of in a transformational period.
Right.
And another one was about to like speak your truth, but like to share your passions about it, to
Hmm.
like speak things into existence, which I kind of associate with manifesting. And I think the Lionsgate portal is a lot to do with manifesting as well.
Well, I that is correct and interesting because I have some things to say about the energy report that also matches that.
I
So there
do.
we go. Um, have you been working on manifesting at all? Do you work on manifesting around things like the Lionsgate portal?
I haven't ever done it intentionally, I don't
Mhm.
think. I need
I
to
feel like
start.
a lot. Well, a lot of people do that. Wait, you don't work on manifesting like on a regular
What do you
basis
mean? Like a ritual or like what would it.
either, or do you just have a system or something that you are speaking into existence or whatever that you want to do?
No, I mean,
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't know why that surprises me. I don't know. I feel like you would be like a manifester, like you'd be putting it on paper or like have a system of awareness on here's what I'm working on now type of thing. You are more go with the flow, receive what you get.
A little bit, yeah, and I'm not, like, dreamy Pisces too, right? Like, I'm always in my head, so I'm constantly kind of creating stories of, like, where I'm going and where
Okay.
I want to go, so, I don't.
Which can be good and not so good.
Correct.
Because a lot of people out there are like that. And then we get into how'd you get here from there? I don't know. I thought about this and then it went there and then it went there. The amount of texts that I get from family and friends that I'm like, wait, literally, how did you get here from there? It's usually like, again, overthinking, like buying a car or overthinking this or that. And I'm like, how do we not just go with the, wow, this just fell in my lap uniquely and perfectly? Like, how about we just stay right there and not overthink things, right?
I mean,
Or
everything seems to work out.
after you overthink them.
Correct.
Okay, well, we got to get to the part where overthinking is kind of tabled a little bit if you want to work on manifesting or receiving. You just have to move away from the overthinking part. And that is really important during a Lionsgate portal if any of you are wanting to manifest, because now you get your brain involved. And when you get your brain involved, it changes your focus and your connection. You can't connect with source the same way and universal energy in the same manner and work with universal laws if you're directing it by overthinking aspects. Because when you start overthinking things, you are using past experiences and other experiences that you can relate to in the physical realm to try to steer around, I would say, fears and worries is really what overthinking does, because nobody says that they're overthinking positive aspects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but would this really cool thing happen? Or would that really cool thing happen? Like, oh, but that could happen. But should we not have that happen? Nobody thinks like that. They're not like going like, oh, but this cool thing could happen over here. So maybe we should go that direction. Have you ever heard anybody overthink that way? No.
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 But
It's
I will say, like, lately, I maybe it's a little bit more of, like, law of assumption. I just feel like I have a lot of success coming my way, so I'm just kind of operating under the assumption that I'm about to go through a major change and a lot of good things are coming my way.
that's true, but that's not overthinking. There is no overthinking involved in that process.
Yes.
That's being working with the law of allowing, the law of assumption. You are, not working with the law of resistance at that point. There's possibly you're working with the law of cause and effect. There's all kinds of things that you're working with that is endless possibilities. When you overthink, I do feel like people work with endless possibilities in a negative aspect, but they don't work with endless possibilities in a really cool miracle aspect. And the difference is when you work with endless possibilities, those are typically stemming from positive energy, universal laws, that sort of thing. Anything could happen. This really cool thing could happen. We don't need to have facts about it. We don't need to have an experience that it's happened before. What if it happens now? You can have all this really cool stuff happen. And that's where you want to be. That's where you want to navigate towards. It's just really interesting when you start overthinking things. If you are an overthinker, it tends to go, well, this negative thing could happen and that could happen. And don't go there because this might be a problem. Then, oh, wait, you went too far that way. So this might be a problem. We just need to go right down the middle. Oh, but jump over that hurdle because that could also happen. It's like weird. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, which I mean, if she's listening, she's gonna know who it is. Anybody who was there is gonna know this story. But we were at a pool party this weekend, and one of the children was in a ring, but it was a tight ring, the blow up donuts.
Yeah.
Okay. And he he had his arms over across the top, and it was pretty tight on him. Like he was little, it fit him really well. And now, granted, he couldn't touch. There was adults right near the pool and lots of kids that could swim right there. And one of the girls got very nervous and was just like, "He could just fall right through the thing, the donut." And I'm like, "How did you get there here? This kid has been in the pool and he's been like playing around this little area." And I'm like, how did that even happen in your brain? Well, his arms could go up, he could slip through the thing, fall down below. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, again, why would he all of a sudden let go, arms go up, slide through the donut? And my daughter's like, "Mom, that's a mom thing. I could totally see that happening." And I'm like, "Okay, like I have kids, I'm a mom, and I am very particular about the boys that are the grandkids who they can swim and stuff, but I'm very hypersensitive and I am very aware of dangerous situations. But this particular situation was just a poignant example of going worst case scenario, just
Yeah.
constantly being in survival mode and going to worst case scenario. I have noticed that more people are in survival mode than I've ever noticed in my entire life of being here. Now, you would think that we would have been more in survival mode when it was way back in the day where there was cavemen and lions and things like that. However, there is still a different type of survival mode where you're protecting your energy and protecting, relationships and love and loved ones and your security and stability. That hasn't really gone away when it comes to caveman versus now. In fact, I think in a lot of aspects, survival mode has enhanced because security is different now. Homes and things of that nature create security, safety within, your children going to certain schools or different things of that nature, or driving a car that isn't going to break down or is good within the weather. There's a lot of those things where before your cave's not going to be shut down because you didn't go into work that day. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you need food, you're going to be able to still just go out and forage for it. So I do feel like there's a lot of pressures, and people don't realize that their behaviors seem to be, I don't want to say navigated, molded would be the word, by being in what is an energetic survival mode. And it's really affecting a lot of people, a lot of people. So I am dealing with mostly clients who are in survival mode right now, and it is scary for them. And understanding when you're in survival mode, I think, is going to be the key there, and allowing yourself to see some things about how you're navigating life is going to be really important. And I know I kind of got off track a little bit there, but it does play into some of the things that I want to talk about today, which is the energy of August. Because if we could pull one card for August, it would be probably a card I know that we pull into another aspect of the year, but it's going to start in August, which is the Phoenix or whatever. It's This is a huge month for transition and things transitioning in a way that may or may not feel comfortable. And I mean huge month. September, October, November, December, we're going to be a little bit more, I don't want to use the word little bit, actually, a lot more settled in to transitional energy than we are going to be in the month of August. And that is going to have some very positive aspects in some regards for a lot of people. But transition never feels good to people. It feels scary because it feels like sometimes we are being forced, or not necessarily forced, but you get what I mean, like to make choices to do something differently. The reason that that happens is because we are creatures of habit, and we will go on the same damn road. I don't know if you're allowed to say that word, but I did.
It's
We
fine.
all the way to the end of our life. We will just continue to go down that road because it's familiar and we know it
Yeah.
and we're used to it. And that has to have change if you are not happy about the road. Somebody's going to come down into your life, metaphorically, guides, whatever, and say, you know what? You're not happy here. And since you're not noticing it, I'm blocking this road off, and you're going to have to find another way to your destination. And there comes change. There comes transition. There comes another aspect and another road you have to travel.
Well, like the phoenix is really the perfect metaphor for it because I mean, you have the phoenix that has to burn,
Mhm,
into ashes, and it's really like a death of something, a letting go of something of
mhm,
what you've known. And
right.
then yeah, that's scary. If you were to see a bird just poof into flames and die, you would be like, "Holy crap, what is going on?" But it also with the rebirth, to birth something brand new that
Mhm,
maybe was better than you could have even imagined.
right. And it can bring about some of the most incredible things. So, if I had advice for anybody in the month of August, is to be very open, eyes and ears open, energetically open to opportunity, because there's going to be opportunities that are going to be popping up here and there all through the month to navigate you down a path. And you get to choose whether you go down that path or don't go down that path, but there's going to be plenty of opportunity as a whole for people to do that. But let's start with some of the things that I want to talk about with the energy report. Um, now, one is relationships, which I have noticed. I was trying to see how to frame this or how to word this. I've noticed that relationship delicacy that we gotta be, walking around, just being a little bit delicate with our relationships is gonna go all the way through August. So sorry about that. Just be aware of it. So I feel that that's gonna go all the way into the third week of August for sure. That means you might find some people that are, I think spicy would be a good word, where typically people who may not have an outburst might have an outburst. People who may not have a meltdown might have a meltdown. People who you feel like might have been doing okay or something might all of a sudden get really upset. Um, or you might find that you're talking to somebody and they might take something the wrong way, like without you realizing it. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of probably overreactions, I would say, all the way to the 3rd week of August, where
And
people are kind of triggery or overreacting. So, as the navigator of that, if you're more aware that this doesn't belong to you, it belongs to them, and you don't need to try to fix it, and you don't need to try to help them navigate it because you can't. They have to figure it out. I think that it's gonna be helpful. If you don't allow yourself to take these delicacies, personal. Were you gonna say something?
yeah, I was gonna say this is relationships on all levels, friends,
Yes,
family,
yes.
partners, so not just, lovers. Yeah.
Coworkers, um, grocery store checkers, I don't care. The car in front of you, whatever. It's just going to involve human interactions. There's a lot of people with short fuses. That goes along with the energy of this transitional energy as well. We're going to have to pivot in August. There's going to be times that we're going to have to pivot things, pivot jobs, pivot relationships, pivot um, just things in life, and kind of, sidestep some things or maybe roadblock. We got to go this direction. So it's not gonna feel awesome to people, and they're gonna react in a way that they are like, "Oh, I can't believe I just did that," "I didn't mean to, that's not really who I am," or I didn't mean to do that," whatever. And so, I would just say, again, don't be too consumed by it. Make sure that you just realize that they might be struggling with something at the moment, or they might not even notice it. But give them a minute, get some energetic space from it. Don't make it your thing because it's not your thing. And if you're the one doing the thing, give yourself some space and save the people around you so, so that they don't have to pivot away, and just, try to be conscientious of maybe pulling back your energy if you're feeling that way. I think that, we're gonna be a little bit, and I try to keep everything positive, we're gonna head that direction, but I for negativity in a sense of feeling like maybe you might be surrounded by it, or people might be behaving negatively or reacting negatively or something, that you wanna be on a little bit of a high alert for. For instance, things, all kinds of things. For what I was going to say on the for instance is woke up this morning. My LinkedIn had been hacked. They changed my password, changed every single thing. Like I have so many people on this. I just looked at it and I went, well, that figures. I'm just like, I don't have time to deal with this. And I really just didn't put much weight into it. Like I could have just been like, oh my God, I have been on LinkedIn for years and I actually have really good contacts on there. And but you know what? I just don't have the energy for it. Same with RSS feed that happen. So, I mean, when we're talking things feeling discombobulated, we're not just talking also relationships and we're talking experiences, we're talking technological issues. That's going to, I feel like, again, go all the way through the third week of August.
Well, I can't remember when retrograde ends, but, like, tech issues, that feels like that's fitting, right, with
Well,
retrograde?
I mean, how about this? Well, we're having tech issues with Mercury retrograde, but then throw in double tech issues. So that'll be fun. It's not just a Mercury retrograde
Yeah. I
situation.
feel like there's a lot of stuff
So, no.
going on.
So, but how you respond is going to dictate how you move through August. Just try not to be reactive and allow things to work out. Another, for instance, is when the RSS feed hadn't been working where the podcast was going out. I was frustrated for a half a minute, but I was so busy with clients and so busy with getting my book to the editor that I was like, well, what if in just some universe this just works out? Like in some dimension, there's got to be a dimension out there I can move into that allows the RSS feed to work out. Okay. And maybe it'll just resolve itself. And took about 2 days, but then my daughter messaged me and says, "Oh, yeah, by the way, your thing's up again." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, thank you." So, I'm hoping that LinkedIn will resolve itself. That's the plan I'm going with right now because I'm way too busy to deal
That'd be
with.
nice.
Yeah, wouldn't that be good? I'll give you an update. If the LinkedIn resolves itself, I'm onto something here. But that's also an example is it got to a point where at some point I could be like, oh my gosh, these people are waiting on this. We put all the time and effort into it, and it's just like, you know what, it is what it is. It'll get handled eventually. I can't have a meltdown. I need to save my meltdown energy for something else. So save your meltdown energy for important things, not like these types of things, because you're going to be very tired if you do it all the way through August. That being said, so with the transition energy, I talked a little bit about that already. September through December, the energy is going to stabilize a lot better. But transitional energy for people who are sensitive, they might be feeling it in their own life, or they might just be feeling it energetically. And in the sense that they can feel shifts and change coming or happening around them, or they're preparing for it, or they don't even know what they're preparing for, but they feel like something's about to happen. I don't feel like a negative undertone to that. I feel more like a shifts and change undertone. And if you're directive in your energy and you've just been trying to look for positive change, I feel like there will be positive outcomes. Truthfully, I feel like most of the transitional energy is going to feel better. It's going to feel in a good place. We're going to navigate to a better location, frequency wise, energetically wise. And I mean, for some of you, it might be physical wise. I don't know. So, that feeling, if you haven't already had it, you'll most likely have that through August. Now, when you get transitional energy that you can feel, some people might feel like their stability is rocking. And I'd mentioned this to you before, but it's kind of like if you imagine that you're standing on your right foot on a balance beam or something, only right foot. You're not allowed to have 2 feet on, and you can't touch anything. And then now we have to transition to the left foot only. It's gonna feel a little shaky and weird as we transfer the weight to the left foot. And then we're gonna recover and regain our balance again. That's sort of what August is going to feel like. We're navigating from one to the other foot, and then we're going to move forward with our balance again, September through December. The other thing is, I would like those who are listening to pay very close attention to their identity in a sense. And we talked about that, didn't we? Or didn't you mention a Pegasus card or something like that
Yeah.
had to do with that? What was that?
So the Pegasus card that I pulled was about transcending, and I do think it was more so talking about it's a very spiritual time, like transcending into more
Okay.
of a spiritual, a lot of transition. There was another card that I pulled with it. It was
Mhm.
more about speaking your truth or speaking your ideas and
Mhm.
sort of like putting them out there into the world.
So a lot of people right now are their identity is going to be shifting a little bit from a spiritual level. And the way that I would like people to navigate that or view that is, it's not like you're going to be entirely stripped of your own identity, but I would like you to visit the concept of shedding your identity for a new skin, a new way to view yourself, or you can view yourself as a chameleon. We're changing our identity as we're moving forward. But I kind of like the shedding because we're shedding old energy and old stuff that might belong to that identity, to that frequency. And I now is the time to really take a look at yourself and how you see yourself. Now, when you do that, the thing with this is to be honest with how you see yourself, because what's most likely going to happen is you're going to feel most likely disappointed. You're going to feel like upset about it, or like, "Ugh, that's how I view my, like, this is what I think of myself." You're going to be hard on yourself, I guess I would say. And I don't want you to be in that space anymore. As we transform into this new energy, it's important for us to see our weaknesses so that we can build our strengths. Okay. And that's meaning being in touch with your weakness in a way that you are conscientious of shifting, change, choices, making your life different moving forward, so that you're not repeating the old patterns of where you were frequency wise. People are really, really hard on themselves. And I know that we've talked about this before, but they really truly are. I wished I would have done this better. I wished I would have parented better. I wished I would have had a better job. I wished I'd have made this decision in high school. I wish I would have played more sports. I wished I would have. But you're forgetting the aspect of, there was reasons you made those choices all the way up until this point in your life. They got you to where you are. And if you had made different choices, your life could look incredibly different, and maybe or maybe not for the more positive. We don't know. Doesn't really matter because that's not what was supposed to happen. And so you need to be able to see who you are and what what the product is that you created from the choices that you've been making, so that we can reevaluate, is that who I want to be? Do I like being this person? Would I like to add some things? Would I like to discover new things? Would I like to gain some knowledge? Would I like to practice other things, like maybe dance, or like, maybe a different hobby? Would I like to enhance my life with some stuff? Would I like to shift and bring any changes? Which brings me for forward to the other thing I wanted to talk about, which is, in August, it's a very good time to start working more with heart energy. It's something that I haven't really talked about a lot yet, but I will be talking a lot about it as we move forward in some of the books, my workshops, and whatnot. Embracing heart energy and working from energy from the inside out. In fact, I really do need to do a meditation on this, and I'm thinking about it. Now everybody will ask me, when are you doing the meditation? Which is probably a good reminder. But that is working with your true identity on a soul self and a soul purpose level and a spiritual level, when you can start really embracing who you are and the love that you have on a soul level, it works from the inside out. And then when you're visiting your identity and who you view yourself as, you're working from the outside in. So it's a good process to view yourself from the outside in and realize that you're probably way too hard on yourself. You probably are not seeing all the positive aspects of who you are. You probably would like to make some changes, but then when you see yourself that way and then come inside to your heart and to your source and to your chest, your heart center, and you start feeling yourself and connecting with yourself on a soul level, you start feeling unlimited possibilities. You start feeling the energy that is the most purest, loving, high frequency energy that you can touch. And when you start making shifts and changes from the inside of your heart center, heart energy out, and that's how you start navigating this transitional energy. I recognize what I wasn't liking about myself, and I want to make some shifts and changes. So I'm going to work from the inside out, and I'm going to view my changes from that standpoint. I'm going to be more focused with my heart compass on what I would like that to look like. I want to be intentional with my shifts and changes from my heart outwards. Now we're projecting a frequency and an energy that is incredibly strong and incredibly formative with this transformation energy.
What about I keep coming back to the exercise that we did for spiritually aligning with success, and,
Mhm.
like, do you think that that would be a good, exercise for people to start with? I mean, when you do that and talking about yourself in the 3rd person, because 'cause you're kind of removing, like, you're not being so hard on yourself, you really are, recognizing all of your accomplishments, your achievements, who you are, like, I really felt a lot,
I
the
think that's
um,
huge with
yeah,
getting you to that heart energy
yeah,
is really going, how do other people view me? You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so I would absolutely include that as part of the process. Viewing yourself, the reason that I'm talking about this transitional energy and viewing themselves from the outside in is because, again, you're so hard on yourself, most likely. And I've had people that go, well, I don't really think I am. And then when I have them describe themselves to me and what that they would like to make see as changes, it's kind of shocking how they view themselves. But we want those people to be able to still accomplish their desires and accomplish change. And I think what happens is people get paralyzed by viewing themselves as weaker than they would want other people to see them. And then they feel like, oh, I'm too old, I'm too busy, I'm too this, I'm too that, and I can't make any changes. Well, that's entirely not true. Every day you have a brand new clean slate, every single day. Every day your frequency is at a clean slate. You don't have to go backwards or navigate forward. You just work with your frequency today. And if you simplify it down to, I'm working with it today and I'm going to work with what I have today, then you can take the things that maybe you didn't feel so good about and you can go, you know what? But I can make this change. I can do this. And then I think that adding the factor in of how do other people view you is helpful to boost your love for who you are and becoming different than who you are. The point of this being, we are in a time frame of kind of stripping our old identity and becoming a new version of ourselves. That's the whole point. From August on into 2025, 2026, we're in the phase of reinventing ourselves. And you can use that as an opportunity, or you can use it as, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to keep doing what I've already done because that's just what I do. Either way, you get to make a choice. You get to choose. But because the universal energy is so powerful behind this, we have the opportunity to reinvent our lives, to reinvent who we are, to reinvent our frequency, to reconnect with our spiritual energy, to shed any of the negative things that we didn't like about choices we made in the past and go, that doesn't belong here. I'm just moving forward in love. I'm moving forward in passion. I'm moving forward with my connection to God and source, and I wanna see where that compass takes my life. I wanna navigate from that place. I want to see what's out there. I'm curious. What would my life look like if I were to let go of my old frequency and my old identity, and I was to take this opportunity to embrace this really cool energy that we're moving into, and I said, "I think I wanna do this." You're going to be jumping on quite a bullet train of manifestation and opportunity and high frequency energy moving forward September, October, November, December. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was heavy kinda, huh? That feel like a lot?
Well, I feel like I resonated with a lot of that because I kind of
Yeah.
feel like I have a lot of ideas of changes and what's to come for me, so I'm
I'm changing a
excited.
lot in my life. I'm on this bullet train. I'm reinventing a lot of areas of who I am. I'm reinventing a lot of areas of my work, my spiritual work, and I'm stoked about it. I'm excited. I'm really excited to release the old version of who I was as a spiritual teacher and embrace this new version of who I am and the new knowledge that I have created and come across over the years. I am like excited about it. However, it does feel weird to release the other aspects of your life. It feels a little bit strange to let those go and go, well, you find yourself going, "Should I? Should I not? Should I don't know what to do here. Do I just, like, lightly let it go, but hold on with a finger? I'm not really sure, like, that feels uncomfortable."
You like, "Let me overthink this."
Yes, exactly. Exactly, and that's what everybody starts to do. So, I I don't feel like we can overthink and move forward in that space. I would like to see people give that a little bit more time. For instance, I know I'm transitioning and I know something is happening with my career and everything that's happening in my life. And I know that there's going to be opportunity and things that are shown to me September, November, October, November on. And I'm just patiently waiting for that to happen. Like I'm excited about it. I have some ideas of how I'm reworking things. I'm embracing all the information I'm getting with the writing and I'm just heading that direction and I'm excited to see where the train goes. And so that's how I'm doing it. I am moving back into my writing cave in essence because that's what feels super good to me right now. And that was something I wouldn't have considered prior to this energy because I would have continued to force myself down a path of whatever I was doing. But this works and I like it and it feels good and I want to see what happens with it. What's happening with you? Do you feel like transitionally?
Well, I mean, I've been well, I've had an idea for a project that I'm
Mm,
getting closer and closer to really. I feel like it's not gonna take me that long. I feel like it's like once I get into it, it's gonna come so quickly that I'm gonna be like, "Well, why didn't I do this sooner?"
and doesn't that energy feel more intense right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And
So
I because I just feel a lot of success, with, like I have my YouTube channel, and I really do start to feel like that is picking up, I keep getting opportunities, every single day, got another one today, people reaching out, wanting me to review their products, so, like, that's the very practical, like, marketing side of me, and then it's like I am working on the Business Genie, which I want to be able to provide resources to all the healers out there who want to start their own
mhm,
business. So I am getting that together and hoping that within a couple of months I can have that launched, if not sooner, to really start generating,
right.
pouring energy into that.
Yeah. And that's moving forward in a way that is kind of redefining your business. For those of you who don't know, what she's been doing has been very um, one tracked, I guess I would say. And now she is spreading her wings into other areas. But when she spread her wings into an area that she was excited about, but was unsure if it would work, that's one of the opportunities you're talking about where it's just starting to unfold. Things are starting to happen with the YouTube thing, and the opportunities are starting to be there. Yet that was something that you were very nervous about, and it felt like self care because that was something you were interested in. And everybody knows that self care is easy to just push to the side, you know?
Yeah.
So, this is your spiritual self care starting line. That's how we can say it. I wanted to say month, but that's not true because it's going to go into the rest of the year. So, this is your starting line. Your spiritual self care starts now. It's time to take care of your soul and your spiritual identity. It's time to release whatever identity you think you held. If you want to repeat aspects of it, fine. But let's let go of the energy of it if it's not working for you and embrace the movement moving forward. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the energy update. Good luck with all your manifestation and sidestep all those, little fires you might come across, you know, with the relationships or, coworkers or whatever. Just
Just don't take anything personally. You just
yeah,
gotta let it slide. Go with the flow.
go with the flow, let it slide. It's not your deal. It's a lot going on. And I think that if you look at it in the fact of, I can feel there's a lot going on, so clearly everybody else can too. And everybody's coping skills are different and their life experiences are different. We can allow them some grace and just not throw fuel on that little fire, right?
Yeah.
No more fuel. Walk away. Fire will burn out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, we want to do a quick reminder.
Yeah, as always, please make sure that you like today's video if the info resonated with you. If you have questions, you can always leave those in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so.
Yes. And thanks again. Until next week, have the most amazing day. Aloha. Bye.
Bye.